Allô, allô, bonjour, bonjour et bonsoir, André Tulubaka. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good Sunday for everybody watching Caribou Magazine. Dans ce moment, j'allais dire, vous êtes très nombreux, vous nous suivez de partout dans le monde. Je pourrais introduire cette émission en anglais ou en français, ça dépend de la langue à laquelle nous sommes ici confortables, comme on le dit. Nous étions avec Dr Sam depuis le samedi, le dimanche passé. Il a parlé sur l'hypertension et il y a pas mal de questions qui sont tombées par rapport à l'hypertension, mais aujourd'hui, il va devoir nous donner un autre thème et ce thème, nous allons en débattre nous tous ici. Alors, comme j'allais dire, par rapport aux gens aux personnes, aux téléspectateurs qui nous suivent en anglais, we were talking today about a new topic. We were talking last 2 weeks about hypertension. We had a multiple question about hypertension, but now we are move on another topic and a new topic, doctor. So that's why I'm talking to people. I'm talking to someone to watch us in the Caribbean Magazine. Caribbean Magazine. Before you support us, you have to go to and subscribe in the Caribbean Magazine on Facebook, subscribe in the Caribbean Magazine YouTube. It can be back to help. All right. So hi, Doctor Yeboah.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm really grateful, and just like you said, today we are actually going to start,
Hmm.
on a new topic. So just a small introduction of myself.
Okay.
I know I've done an introduction, but I'll keep doing it so that people who are watching us for the first time will know who I am.
Okay.
My name is Samuel Yeboah, a family nurse practitioner, and I've been in the medical field for the last 13 years, since 2007, 8.
Hmm.
And I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to collaborate with Caribou Magazine. Just like you said, today we are here to discuss a new topic. For the last 2 weeks, we have been discussing hypertension.
Okay.
We are moving forward and talking about a very bad and a chronic disease that really plague or affects a lot of people, worldwide and obviously United States and everywhere.
Everywhere.
So we're going to talk about diabetes. Absolutely, we're going to talk about diabetes today.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna talk about diabetic today, but people still made a question about hypertension.
Okay.
I want to remind them, if you have a question, do not stop, do not waste the time. Ask, ask. We have three more ways to ask for your, to write your question. You can go to Karu Magazine gmail.com. You can go to 502-262-4715, and then
Now, anybody who wants to call in can call to 812
okay,
557 7022.
okay,
That is a phone we obviously can serve you here. But if you also want to call a New Family Agent Care,
mm-hmm.
which is the company that's in collaboration with Caribou Magazine,
Okay,
located on 3333 Boston Road, Suite 11, Louisville, Kentucky.
mm-hmm.
We are here to help. You can call us at 502 305 6445. The number again is 502 305
Write down.
6445.
Okay.
You can visit us at newfamilyagentcare.com,
Mm-hmm.
or you can also send an email to newfamilyagentcare@gmail.com as well. Whichever way that is more suitable to you, you can call us, you can send us an email,
Okay.
or visit our website, and we'll be able to actually respond to you. You can leave a message, you can leave a note, anything that, like any means possible that will be convenient. We are available to serve the needs of our people.
Okay, so that's clear. That's very clear. Doctor, we're gonna go through today about diabetic. So my first question is, what is diabetic? Because we cannot start diabetic if we don't know about diabetic
Right.
definition or something like that. But we didn't know What is diabetic?
Diabetes is actually a group of diseases that affect the way our body uses sugar or
Okay.
glucose.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of diseases that affects us so that, like the way our body is supposed to use sugar,
Okay.
we are not able to do that. Sugar is a very a very important source of energy. It is mainly the main source of energy of our brain,
Mm-hmm.
and the brain obviously is made up of cells, and the cells that are tiny, tiny things that actually provide energy and provide the ability of our tissues and our brain and every part of our body to work.
Mm-hmm.
It requires glucose.
Okay.
So diabetes occurs when our body is not able to utilize the glucose as it's supposed to, or the sugar as it is supposed to. No matter what, diabetes actually comes in different forms. We have type 1 diabetes, we have type 2 diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
we have gestational diabetes. So the type 1 diabetes, and I'll go ahead and obviously explain it. This is where, somebody really is not able to utilize the sugar effectively, either by when the person is born with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then type 2 diabetes normally occur.
Like we talk about hypertension. It can be back like your grandparent,
So diabetes,
like a generation.
right? So diabetes, if somebody has diabetes, it doesn't necessarily mean that if somebody is born of type 1 diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
the children are also going to, be born with type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
There may be some familiar tendencies, but there's no clear-cut, linkage and say that, okay, you have type 1 diabetes, and therefore, your children will also have type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
On the other hand, type 2 diabetes, which is what is called the acquired, which means you are not born with it, and you obviously obtained it as a result of one, environment, two, your genetic makeup, the way you were born, how the environment, your activity, those things obviously can affect, your body, and as a result, people can develop diabetes.
Okay.
Obviously, the other type that I made mention was the gestational diabetes, which is when women actually get diabetes because they get pregnant. Pregnancy induced diabetes, or one way or another name is called gestational diabetes.
Okay.
That is because of our mothers and our women, our wives and our sisters obviously get pregnant because of hormonal changes that occur in the body, obviously can lead to actually them developing diabetes. But there are risk factors which we will talk about them later on. So those are some of the other, like the specific types. Type 1 diabetes, whereby, and I will go into detail. Diabetes is a very big topic, and it has so many facets which we really going to take our time. It may take us 2 or 3 weeks or so to go into it, so that people really understand what the disease is, what to do, what are the risk factors. If somebody has diabetes, what are the signs and symptoms, and in some cases too, we'll go into complications. If somebody that have diabetes and they don't even know that they have diabetes, what are some of the problems that they may experience? Or if they do and then they are not really taking care of themselves, what are some of the issues? And we are following diabetes after hypertension because there's a link. There is a big association or link between the two that obviously causes a lot of problems for a lot of people. Just like I said, last week and the week before, the most common causes of kidney failure or major risk factors of renal failure in the United States specifically is diabetes and hypertension. So we made mention and discussed hypertension. Today we are definitely going to go deep and discuss diabetes. So, diabetes obviously occur, like I said, it's a group of diseases that obviously affects the way our body utilizes, sugar. as human beings, okay, we have medicine has actually given us what is considered a normal blood sugar. That is, you sleep, and we're talking about fasting blood sugar. Fasting means, you went to bed, you slept, you woke up in the morning, you check your blood sugar, and normal blood sugar is supposed to be from 70 to 110. That is the measurement in the United States.
For everybody.
For adults. For adults.
Children's,
next age. So if you're an adult, and children's, much the same way, there may be just a slight differences in numbers, but here we're talking about diabetes specifically related to adults. Now, if a child has diabetes, most likely they have type 1 diabetes, which means that they were born with it. Diabetes is not a disease that normally, like, you're born and then maybe a week later or so we say you have it. If you have it, then that is actually like juvenile, some people call it juvenile diabetes, or like you're born with it. And that's type 1. And then we have type 2 diabetes, where children can still have it because of obesity, which precipitates the kids from having it. Obesity is not only in adults. Some children have obesity as well. And it puts the children at risk the same for developing diabetes, just like adults. So type 1 diabetes, which, the person obviously is not making insulin. And I'm going to go into detail and describe what insulin is, and then how our body actually utilizes insulin. Because it is when we understand insulin, then that will really help us to understand exactly what, diabetes. So having said that, if somebody has diabetes, how would they know? Obviously, diabetes is a disease
it's like the sign and the symptom.
Signs and symptoms.
Yes.
There are a lot of signs and symptoms that, our body tells us that, wait a minute, you may have diabetes, but sometimes we ignore it. And so I'm going to go into detail and discuss some of these signs and symptoms.
Okay.
So that if you're experiencing it, then I obviously will encourage you to see a provider. If you come to New Family Agent Care and then we realize there's a possibility that that's exactly what you're experiencing, we will order labs. Okay, so then we are not going to just look at you and say, oh yeah, you have diabetes. No, this is America. There is medicine. We know what to do. Cutting edge, technology, obviously, to help us, deal with this disease. So we will go through labs, discuss, give you education, and then if we need to put you on medicine, yes, it's a step-by-step approach. And that is what, the Diabetes Association and then obviously the American Endocrinology, obviously have given guidelines as to how the disease has to be diagnosed, and then also how we have to absolutely treat it. So some of the simple signs.
Excuse me, doctor. Before we go to signs and the symptom, earlier when you said like children can born with diabetes. So where came from this diabetes? Because mommy has diabetes, or daddy has diabetes, or grandparent has diabetes. So where it came from?
So there is a genetic, earlier when I said, it doesn't mean that if somebody is born with type 1 diabetes, the children are also going to have type 1 diabetes. They may, I may not. And so is anybody could.
Okay.
So there is some genetic component, but a child may be born with neither the mom or the dad or anybody in the family had ever had diabetes. But they may be born and have diabetes. So, obviously through the embryonic stage of development, sometimes, and then, some things may develop, and genetically, we have chromosomal sequences sometimes too. Some things may not work effectively, and as a result, some children may be born with some congenital disorders. So, there is no specific, like a mother who has or was born with type 1 diabetes doesn't mean that her kids are also going to have type 1 diabetes. They may or may not. All right, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you know, a child who is born of type 1 diabetes means that the children also have type 1 diabetes. No. You know, they may or may not.
Okay.
There's no direct correlation over there.
Because after that, people can be asking me question about what when children can be born with diabetes.
Right.
Thank you, doctor, for your response.
Okay.
But you can go to.
So some of the signs and symptoms, you know, obviously that could we see whether the person has type 1 or type 2 diabetes, or in some cases even gestational diabetes, include thirst, increased thirst. Okay, you know yourself. You know how much water you've been consuming, you know, as an adult growing up. You know, so if for some reason and for a period of time, you always want to drink water, like you get, you know, thirsty so quickly, so soon, and you're looking for water and drinking and drinking and drinking water, there's the likelihood that it may be, you know, your body is telling you that you're probably developing diabetes or you have diabetes. Okay, so you know that is one of the you know symptoms that you definitely it can be associated with it. So increased thirst is a classic symptom, you know, of absolutely diabetes. So obviously, you know, when we drink a lot of water, what do? We urinate a lot as well. So increased urination is also another sign or symptom that is associated with diabetes. So increased thirst, all right? Increased urination if somebody is urinating a lot, all right? Increased urinating a lot, then obviously that could be a significant sign of you know, of diabetes. So, you know, we also have extreme hunger, all right? Okay. You eat or you ate and you don't want to eat, then you want to eat again within a short period of time. Like you eat, you just ate, but even though you just ate, you don't feel satisfied. If you remember, at the beginning, I said that sugar is the source of energy for the brain, is the source of energy for the body. We have cells. The cells need the sugar. The cells need the energy in order to be able to help the tissues to obviously work. So we need that energy. We need the glucose or the sugar into the cells. So if you eat and the food is converted into glucose and the glucose doesn't get to the cells will still be hungry. You know, does that make sense? Because you eat. When we eat the food has to be converted into or broken down into sugar. The sugar should now move and then get into the cells. Before the sugar can get to the cells, there is a channel. You think about it. Today is Sunday. A lot of us obviously went to church. Or, you know, because of COVID-19, maybe we, you know, but some churches, I'm just using this if you go to church or you go to the market or wherever you go. You wake up, you dress, you go, and then you put on your nice shoes and everything, and then you sit in the car, and then you drive the car to the church. So we're going to take ourselves as the sugar. Once we are the sugar, we have to bind to the car. We have to sit in the car. The car then drives us to where? To church. The same way we eat the food is broken down into sugar. Then the sugar is definitely bound to the cells, and the cells now take the insulin now binds to the sugar, and then the insulin now takes the sugar to the cells. So if you eat and the sugar is not able to get to the cells, absolutely, the cells will continue to tell you, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, because it is not getting the glucose. Okay. So, you know, the sugar must get to the glucose. So if it doesn't get to the glucose, the sugar must not get to the cells. If it's not getting to the cells, the person will still perceive that as I'm hungry, because the cells will be sending a signal to the brain and tell you that you are absolutely hungry, and therefore eat. Okay. And that's exactly what will happen. You know, so the three major symptoms or the signs and symptoms that I've talked about is what? one, extreme thirst. That is like you are thirsty, you want to drink water, and drinking and drinking and drinking. All right. The other, and the other symptom, like I said, was, urination, and then that means you urinate because you're drinking water, a lot of water, and you're peeing, you're urinating. And then the other one is you're always hungry. As a matter of fact, we call that the 3 Ps. Okay, we call that polyuria, or that is means you're urinating a lot. Like you go to bed, you sleep at night, and you're waking up 2-3 times to urinate at night. You shouldn't. Maybe even if you have to urinate, maybe once. But you're getting up 2 hours, every 2 hours, every 3 hours, you're getting up to urinate at night. That is a major red flag that it could be that you are doing what? You're experiencing diabetes. And then you urinate and you're looking for water to drink. You urinate and you're looking for water to drink. So that is polyuria.
So it gives you way to drink water
drink it,
and then go urinate.
And urinate.
Drink water, urinate.
You drink and drink and drink. That is called polydipsia because you are thirsty. You drink.
You have to take it out.
Yep. And then obviously you urinate, polyuria. Okay? And polyuria. And then also there's another one called polyphagia. That is when you're hungry, you always want to eat. So the 3 Ps, okay. Polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia. You are urinating a lot, you're drinking a lot, and you're always hungry. All right, these are 3 major things that I obviously want, our audience to obviously pay attention to.
Okay.
Another thing, obviously, that we can experience if somebody has, diabetes is unexplained weight loss. All right? You have to work, you go to the gym. I'm a very tall person, all right? Somewhere around 200 pounds, okay? If I'm losing weight and I'm not going to the gym and I'm eating the way I'm eating, and I can explain the reason why I'm losing weight, that may be a significant sign that that person is experiencing diabetes. So unexplained weight loss, which unexplained weight loss, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're losing weight. As a matter of fact, unexplained weight loss could also be cancer. Okay? It's a major problem if somebody is just losing weight and we don't know why, the person is losing weight. It may absolutely be, an issue with the development of, cancer. So that is one thing, all right? We also have what is called ketones. Ketones are obviously byproducts of breakdown of muscles. So as we break down muscles, we use our body, and then obviously ketones develop, all right? Ketones become more available when obviously we are not utilizing insulin effectively, or we don't have enough insulin around. If we don't have enough insulin around, we build up ketones in the body. Protein ketonuria, that is like you have ketone bodies in your urine, also may indicate. And then as a regular person, I don't expect you to be able to identify that. Oh, look, I have ketones in my urine. No, you really can't. You can't determine that. When you come in and we do lab tests, the lab test will absolutely tell us that you have ketones in your urine or not. Another thing is fatigue. Fatigue. Like, you wake up in the morning, you haven't really done, you have to wake up in the morning rejuvenated. You should feel strong. Okay, well, I guess enough rest. I slept at least 6 to 8 hours. I feel good. I'm strong. I have gained some energy. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go about my business throughout the day. But if you're easily fatigued, you do something really little, and you're so tired, easily tired, and even if you haven't done anything, you really don't want to move anything. You don't want to move your body because you feel so tired. It's also another symptom, that we absolutely have to, pay attention to. Irritability. You're just irritable. All right? You can't sit still. You can't relax. You can't really enjoy things that you used to. Okay? Little things just upsets you. You are not of yourself. Okay? Being irritable, like something little just upsets you. It's like, nothing excites you. You realize that, who you are as a person, it's kind of changed. If you just being irritable for no reason, even if you go to bed, you should be in bed and relaxing, having nice and sweet dreams, and you're just irritable. You go to bed, you can't sleep, you're tossing and turning in the bed. Irritability in general could also be a sign of diabetes. There's so many things. Another one is blurry vision.
And vision too.
Blurry vision, yeah. It looks like your vision is blurry. That like you can't see things clear. All right, you're seeing things. It's kind of it's there, but I see it, but I don't see it, but I see it, and it's like you're looking through fog, right? You wake up in the morning, you see fog. You're looking. It looks like you're looking through it. Things are not clear when you look at them. It could also be a sign, obviously, of diabetes. Another classic sign of diabetes is dry skin. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you have dry skin, that means you have diabetes. So so these are a lot of symptoms that we are mentioning, but all these come together, and I'm going to give a couple more. All these obviously come together, and that is what will be some of the signs and symptoms of diabetes. So, like I said, dry skin, like you may have dry, scaly skin. There are diseases that could obviously cause, dry skin. Some people obviously have dry skin, as a form of disease. Okay. And then also we also have diseases like, psoriasis that also causes, plaque. We have different types of psoriasis. Plaque formation is scaly skin, and dry, hard, skin. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have dry skin, you have diabetes. But once again, it is one of the classic symptoms of it. Another major one that obviously we need to pay attention to is slow wound healing or impaired wound healing. And
what normal, meaning? Because people want to know about, the simple words.
Right.
Not too much technical.
Absolutely.
So they want to know for simple words to know exactly what you're talking about.
So normally, especially our brothers and family back home in Africa, all right, and even here, anywhere you are, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're doing an activity and you just get cut.
Yes.
You just have a small
just
cut.
By accident.
By accident, something small, cuts you.
Yeah.
Or you playing soccer and something you fell and then you just had some, scrapes and on your skin. Normally, these wounds, if it is not infected, it should heal easily, and it should normally heal by themselves. Once you keep it clean, wounds should heal, right? You realize that you have this small wound that would not heal, or even if it is going to heal, it took so long to heal. So that means that you are not having, there's a possibility that you are not having effective blood flow to the wound. A wound would not heal when you don't have blood actually flowing to the wound. You have to have blood flowing into the wound to actually have what is called granulation tissues actually developing, like fresh, nice tissues that obviously will help to form, the skin. It has to develop, and it can only happen when you have effective blood flow to the wound. So, slow wound healing. If you have wound that would not heal, that may indicate, that obviously can tell us that you're experiencing, diabetes. Obviously, there are other symptoms which were also I talked about the, blurry vision, but frequent infections. Somebody who's really having frequent infections, especially our ladies. If you're developing vaginal yeast infections or vaginal infections more often, more frequently than you should,
yes,
right? Then it could absolutely be, especially if you're obese and you're getting frequent vaginal infections, your body is telling you something is not accurately right. And that something is not right, and we definitely need to investigate. If you come to New Family Urgent Care, we are an urgent care, but if we need to draw labs, if we need to order labs, that will give us information about what is happening metabolically. Absolutely, we definitely can help to deal with it. So these are some of the signs and symptoms that we definitely have to discuss. There's more, but for the sake of time, like I said, the audience should understand that diabetes is a very broad topic. We will look at it, and then we're going to discuss it. We'll go more detail into it. We're going to take our time because we absolutely want people to understand this disease, and then look at some of the risk factors and some of the things that we can do to help us reduce the risk of diabetes.
So, Doctor, you are clear. You tell people it's a more education. I know, but I know I'm heard someone talk about education about health. They say it's a cost.
Okay.
It costs money. This education you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How do you talking about you make education but free? We started since a couple weeks ago, but you talk about free. Why?
So New Family Agent Care has made a wonderful commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really grateful that the organization is giving us the financial resources to obviously partner with Caribou Magazine. Our goal is to educate. Okay, this is a healthcare system, and I'm calling it a healthcare system because that is our goal. Our goal is to spread across the Kentucky, the state of Kentucky, the whole United States, and across the world. Mm-hmm. Because it's a new organization, it's a new corporation, but the goal is to reach as many as possible by educating, by giving people the tools, by teaching people the signs and symptoms of diseases. So knowledge is power.